Hello everyone and welcome back to Slickhand Games. Today I have a list of my top 5 favorite games on the Nintendo Switch. First of all, a warning. This may contain spoilers if you haven't beaten some of the games that I have on this list. So you have been warned. One last time, click away if you think that there will be any spoilers. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. For my number 5, I have Rayman Legends. Now, Rayman Legends, I didn't really hear a lot of people liking this game, but I loved Rayman Origins on the Wii. It was like my favorite game to play. It was my always go-to if I had a party of 4 people, and it was just perfect for that. And another thing was that I didn't own a Wii U, so I wasn't able to play it when it came out. So my Switch, I was a newbie for Rayman Legends once I had it on the Switch. I also like the smooth controls on it. I like just for those of you who have played a Rayman Legends, just ground pounding and going back and forth, just even the music levels, they're so well articulated with the controls. It was just perfect for the controls are just real smooth. And but I also the boss fights were thrilling. I was disappointed with the last one because it was the hands, but it was just the floating hands, kind of Smash Bros style, and it was cool for what it was, but I was just expecting more for the final boss. Like that Lucha Libre fight was just fights like that, the dragon at the beginning, that was just perfect fights. And but I think that what really put the cherry on top for this game was the music levels, and they're just so well paced, well crafted. Just how the game transfers all the music that they have on there. Just it's so perfect. As soon as I played the demo, I knew that it would be like the perfect game, or the perfect type of level for Rayman Legends, and I just really like that. One last thing though for Rayman Legends was the co-op, and I'm not too fond of it, but I liked it enough to put it on the list. And the reason is because I have my cousins come over a lot, and they love Rayman Legends, almost as much as I do. And so I just pop off one of the Joy-Cons. 2 of them make 2 controllers, and I have a Pro Controller too, so it works perfectly for having a few people over and you just want to play. But for the number 4 spot is Pokken Tournament, and I've been a fan of Pokemon my whole life, and I've also loved fighting games like Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom. So Pokken Tournament was, as soon as I saw that trailer, and once again, I think this is out on the Wii U, and I didn't have one of those. So, it's out on the Switch, and I loved it. So, the Pokemon you could choose, I am disappointed that they have 2 just different Pikachus, and that they have a support Pokemon that's also a playable Pokemon. I'm talking about Croagunk. I didn't like that. But overall, it has my favorite Pokemon in there, Sceptile. It has Empoleon, it has Charizard, and just tons more. I think and Shadow Mewtwo, that they made him a playable character. Of course that they made him a playable character, but it's just I really like the characters that you could choose from. I also like the story. I wasn't expecting to have a story. I was expecting just the main feature of this would be being able to take it with you anywhere, and that's what that was supposed to be their selling point. But what really got to me with this game was its story. I just loved having to travel all over the map, fighting the different battle trainers. I just loved that so much, and the different leagues that you can get. That was my favorite part. It made it like it was like the Pokemon shows. That's something like I said, I like Pokemon my whole life. And Pokemon shows are what brought me closer to Pokemon in the first place. So going through all the battles and everything in the Ferrum League, it really reminded me of playing the show, of watching the show, but it was like I was actually in it. So that was cool. And then one last thing was again the co-op. If you're gonna hear one thing on this entire list, it's going to be how great the co-op is, because that's what really I like. That's why I bought the Nintendo Switch, was for the co-op. And so Pokken Tournament, just the local where you could just take off the Joy-Con. The online, it's just a really perfect fit, if you ask me, for the Nintendo Switch. But that brings us to our number 3, Splatoon 2, which Splatoon, once again, Wii U didn't have it. So what my friends told me that Splatoon was fun, I didn't believe them. And then Splatoon 2 came out, and they were freaking out. They were just ecstatic about it. And so then once I had the Splatoon 2, I immediately fell in love with it. Once I bought it, I was just almost excited as they were almost. First of all, co-op. Let's just get that out of the way. I'm upset that they didn't have it where you could just, maybe a Pro Controller and then 2 of the Joy-Cons, and then have private battle just with Switch, without having to connect to the internet. I was upset about that, but the fact that you can have, up to 8 people in a private battle, it works for me. And like I said, most of my friends love Splatoon. All of them have it, so they, if we're all in the same, schedule, then it works out perfectly. I also love the game modes. My favorite being Rainmaker. I would talk like ranked, and I'm not a huge fan of Turf War now that I made it to rank. So I do spend most of my time there, but my favorite being Rainmaker. I'm Splat Zones. What's the other one? Tower Control, and they added a new one, Clam Blitz. Clam Blitz or something like that. It's fun. Those ones are fun. Rainmaker is definitely my favorite, and I usually just don't, unless I'm playing Rainmaker. But another thing that I love about Splatoon is how updated they are. They're always trying to entertain us with something new, and something new that they always have is the event, the Splatfest. I can't get over the fact that I think it's once every month there's a Splatfest, if not once every month, then every other. And it's just, it keeps me active on the Switch, which I don't know if that's a good thing, but, it's keeps me playing Splatoon, and that's what I love about it. It's not like you beat it, you go through the story, and then that's it. You just keep on going with Splatoon, and I love that. I also like the customization of the clothes. I like that it's not a suit, like it's, a hat, a shirt and pants and boots that it's automatically assigned. I like that you're able to just make your own inkling to, whatever you want. And I know that's been around, and it's not really anything to shout at, but it's just something that I've had to put on the list. And like I said before, how they're always keeping up to date with Splatoon. The new weapons that they have each week, when I noticed that it was every week, it blew my mind. I was like, how are they able to do this? And I just love it. And it actually, I realized that now, I guess, that they're bringing weapons in from Splatoon 1, which I fell in love with the Bamboozler and the Hydra Splatling. So, I guess just, as long as I keep adding weapons and keep having Splatfest, I'll just keep playing Splatoon. But that brings me to number 2, Mario Odyssey. Now, I just got Mario Odyssey last week, and I beat it today, actually. And there's so many things I already added to I actually had to take off thing from the list because it was just so much on Mario Odyssey. But first of all, the soundtrack was amazing. They could have had some of the older songs from some of the old, like Mario Bros. Wii, Mario Bros. Things like that, which is what I was expecting. And then each kingdom had a different song, and it just, I loved it. It was just catchy. Just being able to run through the levels and having music playing behind you was just like the coolest thing to me. So I did like the soundtrack, but I mean, other than that, the story just Oh my goodness, it was so much better than the most recent Mario games that they've had. I'm not talking about things on the 3DS. I'm talking about things on the Wii U, and things on the Wii. They were the levels on Mario Odyssey were just awesome. The different kingdoms that you go to, getting all the moons, just being able to search the whole entire map, and they're big maps too. I just love those. And about the kingdoms, I think it's over 10, I think 13 maybe different places that you go to, and all of them are just so unique. They're all different than one another. There are a couple things that share traits, but overall, they're all different in their own way, and it's just so amazing how they're able to do that. So it seems so easily. I just thought that was impressive compared to all the other ones. I also love the throwbacks to the old Mario games when you go through the pipe and then it'd be 8-bit. I lost my crap. It was so perfect. I've tried to avoid spoilers because I know I'm late to the Mario game, and I know that there's things on YouTube already about it. So I've been trying to avoid it all. But when I saw that Mario going 8-bit, I died. And then Bowser, oh my goodness. Spoiler alert now. Click off if you have not played Mario Odyssey. I've already warned you like twice, but this is the final warning, because when Bowser went 8-bit, oh my god, when you captured Bowser and then he's just going through and then he goes 8-bit, oh my god, I lost it. It was perfect. But I think what I liked most about it was the new variety of bosses. Now I'm not talking about like the Goombas and stuff like that. I'm talking about the Broodals and the bird and the octopus and just stuff like that. I was so happy that they didn't just have the Koopalings and all the different kingdoms like they usually do. And I know that's like nostalgia. I would like to have a Mario game like that, like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where it's just the different kingdoms and then there's the Koopalings that all have their ships and go through all the. I would love to have a game like that, but I'm glad that they didn't do it on Mario Odyssey because it made it more unique than it already was. But that brings us to our last game that I'm going to have on the list, and that would be Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And not only because it won Game of the Year, not only because so many people love it. The Legend of Zelda is my perfect game. The gameplay on it is just, it's almost like ecstasy, just being able to run through all of Hyrule, the different ways you can travel. That they recently added the Master Cycle Zero, which I loved it, and the story just beautiful. And I'm upset that they didn't have, I think I mentioned this in another video of mine, but I'm upset that they didn't have something new in the DLC 2. But in the regular story mode, going through all the Divine Beast and just meeting all the champions again, all the memories. I loved going through, getting all of those memories, and it felt like a moral achievement, not just in the game, but just in life itself, I guess. Just felt awesome to be able to get Link's champion tunic after getting all the memories. I loved that part. But that also reminds me of the completion. Something I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. It's so time consuming, but at the same time it's so time consuming. I mean any number less than 900 Korok seeds I would have loved. 120 shrines, I have the shrine sensor, and I mean it's only so much Hyrule to explore. Now I just love every bit of completion that you're able to do, but what I love more is the voice acting. Going through all those memories, like I said before, going through the entire story, being able to see all those cutscenes and all that, and the voice acting was so perfect. I don't think that they could have done it any better. And I did like the Japanese version better than the English version, but the English voice actors did so well, and that's something that Nintendo should just take notes on. I know that they've had voice acting fails in the past. I can't think of any games off the top of my head, but if they just keep on like Zelda it's perfect. And the last thing I'd like to say regarding Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the graphics. And I know, I mean, now that I'm done playing Mario Odyssey, I'd like to say that Mario had better graphics than Zelda. But just comparing the two right now, Zelda, the graphics are beautiful. The details in the mountains, the grass, the enemies, just everything in it, just so perfect. And I don't think that Nintendo could top that with another Zelda game. I'm sure they will, but until I see it, I just don't know. But tell me what you think of my list, and tell me what games you like. Maybe I'll even review some of those games, and so just let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, like it if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. Until next time, stay slick.